Hello and welcome to yoga. Let's take a comfortable seat on either a cushion, a folded blanket. If you have a yoga block, you can sit with your hips on that, or you can just sit on your mat. But bringing your hips onto something just creates a little bit of space so that the pelvis can tilt forward, and that brings your lower back in line with the rest of your spine. So if you're rounding through your lower back, then maybe sit on something. And you can be creative, just whatever you have around. And then lengthen through your sides. Let's roll our shoulders back a couple of times. And then draw your shoulders onto your back and broaden through your collarbones. Maybe bring your hands to your lap or they can come down to the floor by your hips. And then close your eyes and take a big breath. Take one more full breath here. And I'd like you to bring in a heartfelt gratitude for yourself, for taking this time just for you. Grateful for yourself for prioritizing this break. And then bring your hands together at your heart. Allow your palms to connect. Let your thumbs rest on your chest. That feels okay. On your next inhale, lengthen through your spine. And exhale, let your forehead come down towards your hands. Breathe into your upper back. And then softly open your eyes. Release your hands to your legs. Draw those shoulders back again. And we're going to take your right shoulder, reach through your left shoulder towards the left side. And then inhale to come back, left ear to left shoulder, and really lengthen through your right side of the neck all the way to the tip of your shoulder. Good. Then inhale, come back. We're going to shake our head now, keeping those shoulders engaged onto your back as you look to each side. Good. And then with your head back and center, we're going to move to our hands and our knees or tabletop position. So you can move any of your props out of the way, and you can also put a blanket underneath your knees for extra support. Line up your wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, and then bring your head back into the back plane of your body. There should be a nice space between all of your fingers, pressing down through the palms without locking out our elbows here. And then we'll do some cat and cows to the rhythm of your own breath. So on your inhale, pelvis is going to tilt forward, heart's going to come forward as you look up. And then on your exhale, draw in your lower belly, let the pelvis tilt back, round through the spine, and let your head hang. Inhale to come into your cow-like pose. And exhale as you press back into your cat. You can move as fast or as slow as you'd like. You can take these a little bit more gentle or really exaggerate the stretch. So just whatever feels good for you. Good. Let's do one more round. And then inhale, come back to your neutral spine. We're going to take knees together if that feels okay. Hips back towards your heels. Now if that's not comfortable, you can take knees wide or keep the hips lifted. Walk your hands out in front of you and let your forehead come down to rest on your mat or on a yoga block, any sort of prop that you might have around. Good. As you breathe, let your abdomen press against the tops of your legs. Take one more breath here. Inhale, lift yourself back up. Move any proppings out of the way. Reset that foundation through the palms of your hands and the fingertips. And then you're going to tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. In down dog, you can pedal out your legs or maybe sway your hips. Move around a little bit. And you can always come up down dog if something becomes uncomfortable. And then let yourself become still. Reach your hips away from your shoulders. Take one more big breath. Good. On your inhale, you're going to step, or you can even jump, walk forward to the top of your mat. Grab either a yoga block or a step stool, soup cans, and it's okay if you don't have anything like that too. But you can use something to bring the floor a little bit closer to you. Then exhale, hinge at your hips and fold over your bent knees. You can bend your knees even more to really release through the low back. Inhale, lengthen to your half forward fold. Hands are going to rest on your thighs above your bent knees. Draw those shoulders back, lengthen through the top of your head. Exhale and fold. Let your hips come down. You're going to lengthen through your spine. And then we're going to take our arms wide. I want you to engage your glutes to come up to standing. Hands up towards the ceiling. Reach through your fingers and your sides, but then engage your core even still. Good. Exhale your hands to your heart. Inhale and reach. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands on your blocks. You're going to step your left foot forward and your right foot back. Doesn't matter the length of your stance. So you can have a shorter stance and you can stay more lifted if that's more comfortable for you. You just want to make sure that your front knee is over your shin. And then you're going to turn and plant your back foot so that the outside edge of your foot is parallel to the end of your mat. Good. Now from there, we're going to press our feet down into the ground. I want you to wrap your left hip down and under so your knee stays open. You feel your booty engaged. And then we're going to inhale and come up to our warrior two. So in warrior two, you're bending over your front knee without locking out your back knee. You don't have to add the arms, but if you'd like to, you're going to take your arms directly out from your shoulders. Good. Draw in your lower belly, slightly tuck your tailbone. If it's comfortable on the shoulders, you're going to take your gaze over your front hand. But if that doesn't feel okay, just keep your head straight forward. Good. From here, release your hands down to your hips. You're going to bend your left elbow and hinge at the side to drop your elbow to your knee. And then peel right shoulder back so you're nice and broad through the chest. Maybe even start to look up towards the sky. You don't have to do that though. And then you can add your top arm up towards the ceiling or over your ear. So whichever one feels best. Good. Big breath. Good. Inhale, top hand's going to come back to the hip. We're going to lift back up to our tall spine. Right hand is going to come to the top of the thigh. Kind of by the hip, but right in the middle, kind of. And then your left hand is going to lift up. Good. So this is more about lengthening through our side bodies. But if you'd like to add a little lean, you can even start to lean towards your back leg. One more breath. Good. Come back to your tall spine. Release your hands down to your hips. We're going to turn back towards the front of our mat. And as you lean forward, bring your hands to your props or the floor, you're going to just turn and tuck your back toes. Press off your back foot to step forward and switch sides. And I'm just going to turn around. You don't have to turn around. Bend into your right knee this time. Extend through the left heel and then turn and plant your foot. Outside edge of the foot should be lined up with your mat. And then wrap your right hip down and under. Bend into that front knee. Inhale and lift to warrior two on your other side. Decide if you're going to take your gaze over your front hand or just look straight forward, keeping your neck in line with your shoulders. Good. Engage your core. Press your feet down, slightly tucking your tailbone just a little bit. Go ahead and release your hands down to your hips. You're going to bend your right knee, hinge at the hip to drop your elbow to your leg. And then press into your leg so you can lift up out of that shoulder. You don't want to be collapsing into that right shoulder. Draw left shoulder blade back. And then maybe add left arm up towards the ceiling or over your ear. Good. Keep breathing. Lovely. If you extended your arm, you're going to bring it back to the hip. And then inhale, press your feet down to come to your tall spine. From there, left hand comes to the thigh, just wherever it feels comfortable to rest. Right hand is going to lift up towards the ceiling. You can look up or you can look straight forward. And then maybe even add that lean back towards your left leg. You don't have to add that though. Good. One more breath in this exalted warrior. And then inhale, arms back to traditional warrior two. Tall spine. Release your hands down to your hips. Very gingerly, turn towards your front of your mat. Tuck your back toes. Put your props out of the way. Plant your hands and step back to downward facing dog. Shake out the hips a little bit. And then bring your knees to the ground. This time, knees wide, heels together, hips back towards your heels. Unless you'd rather take a puppy pose, keeping the hips lifted. You could also put a cushion between you and the ground so you've got a little bit of support. Let your forehead rest on something, whether it's the mat or your yoga block. Good. One more breath in your child's pose. And on your next inhale, you're going to walk your hands towards your knees. Lift up to a seated position. Bring your feet out in front of you. Take a comfortable seat. Doesn't necessarily have to be cross-legged. Draw those shoulders back. Hands at your knees. We're going to exhale and twist to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale and twist to the left. Okay. Back at center. Let's bring our hands together at our hearts. Close your eyes. And once more, allow yourself to feel gratitude for yourself. I am grateful for you joining me, and I hope that you have a lovely rest of your day, your night, whatever time it is that you may be watching this. Namaste.